Hey Stan, good to see you. First of all, was there any relaxing at all done on the break there for you?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Got to spend some time with my wife, and we did some walks, and did some things locally. So yeah, it was good. It was good.
And to get a little more serious on you, tomorrow is kind of the 1 year anniversary of when everything changed. I was just curious, what were you doing that day? I mean, what just memories do you have looking back on that day?
I had just done a game the day or two before. I had just broadcast a game out in Golden State, a Golden State Clipper game, and I remember Golden State was already talking about not playing with fans after that night. They had fans there that night, but it was talking about not playing with fans. And then a day or two later, the whole thing shut down. So I don't remember exactly on the day what I, was doing. Like it was a big thing for the league, but this isn't like 9/11 or JFK's assassination or anything else. It's still basketball, so I don't know that I don't know that I'm one of the people who's gonna remember where I was when the NBA shut down. So, you know.
Hey Stan, it's Andrew from ESPN. How do you get used to, or how will you use, I guess these night practices or late afternoon practices, since that's what you have to do now for I guess the next 6 to 8 days, whatever Griff said. How does that affect kind of the normal flow of things for you guys?
Yeah, I really, we'll just have to play it by ear. I really don't know, to be honest, Andrew. I mean, we've never been through this before. I mean, the AllStar Break, you're used to coming back and having a couple practices at a normal time and the whole thing. We come back, we get one practice at 4 in the afternoon, and then we play a back-to-back right off the bat. So, you're a little limited. Like you couldn't go out there and go an hour and 45 minutes today and run them up and down and know that you have to, play back-to-back. So, I mean, it's just strange. Like you're playing games and you're just not getting ready for them the way that I'm used to getting ready for them. So it's just it's a different thing. But everybody's going through it. Like I've said, when I say all of these things, I'm not saying anything as an excuse. There's 30 teams fighting through the same battles. So we'll just try to figure it out as we go along.
Hey, Coach. This is Ollie with the Bird Rise. Was everyone outside of JJ able to practice? And what was the focus of today's session? Were the guys eager to be back?
Can't answer that last one. I don't know. Everybody else was back, well, except for the guys who were in the G League bubble. They'll be back tomorrow, but they weren't allowed to be back today. So Winyan, Najee Marshall, Will Magne, they were not here today. So we had 12 guys. But everybody else, yeah, was here. To be honest, the main thing of today was just to get up and down the floor and just get them, try to get them their legs under them and the whole thing. It was pretty sloppy. They hadn't played in, 6 days or whatever, so it wasn't pretty. But hopefully it's, hopefully we did enough and not too much and we're ready to play. But I have no way of knowing until we get into the game the next 2 days.
The sheer number of games, 36 and 67 days. I mean, do you guys have conversations about just like managing that kind of monster, or is it more of like, when and if problems arise, we'll deal with it then?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a little of both. I mean, we have thought about it, in terms of, I mean, the way I think of it is, we know we're not going to be able to do a lot. How are we the most efficient with our time where we can find a way to work on things and get better, even though we're not able to really go out and get a lot of repetition. So that's really my focus. And we've talked about that as a staff, and I've talked about it with Griff and Trajan. But, that's all philosophical. And then it boils down to a day-by-day basis. Like, what do we think we can do today? And you're going to make those decisions as you go. This is not coaching in any way like I've ever coached before. I mean, this is a totally different thing. So, and it is for everybody. So we've just got to find a way to do it the best we can.
When I know you said you were able to spend some time with your wife and you take a little bit of break. How much did you let yourself think about defense and what you guys needed to do on that side before going forward here in the second half?
Well, I can't really go more than probably 15 minutes, even in the most relaxed times, without thinking about our defense. So, a lot. And looked at a lot of numbers and, our progression throughout the season and what different pick and roll schemes have meant to us, different guys on the court with their defense. Everything I could think to look at defensively. The challenge, though, Andrew, is I think, it's not hard to know what we need to do better and differently and all of that. The problem is, as I said to the coaches today in the staff meeting, okay, when are we going to work on this? And when are we going to work on this so you can come up with 9, 10, 11, 12 things that, boy, these things have all got to get better. Okay, fine. When are we working on that stuff? How are we getting better at that stuff? So, for instance, transition defense, we got to get better. We lay out the things we want to talk about. How are we getting better after today? I mean, today we did go some full court. A lot of days we don't. Like, how are you getting better at that? Well, film and, really trying to hold guys accountable to it and the whole thing. It's not easy. You're not going to your book of drills that you've done to get better on those things because you just don't have that opportunity that much time. So it's all different.
Does the break allow you to take a big picture view of the defense? And I know you said you were looking at numbers and looking at different things. Does having that time allow you, since it's really the first time you really, I guess, have had time this year to look at different issues? I know it's just about getting better, but did it help to kind of have a little break to look at things?
Well, what it helps with is it helps you to gather your thoughts. Now, normally, like I said, I mean, you go to the AllStar break and you've got time to gather your thoughts and you've got a couple practices and, walk through, and then you'll have fairly regular practices. Like in a normal season, you usually get one good practice a week and then another practice somewhere. Now it's not that. And so it's figuring out how to work to solve the problems and get them better. I mean, identifying the problems is pretty easy, to be honest. And even to come up with what we need to do better, pretty easy. Teaching points that we need to make, fairly easy. Now, how do you get the repetition you need to build the habits? That's the difficult part.
Coach, in helping fans really understand just how different this season has been, can you put almost an exact number as to how many practices and shoot-arounds you guys have been able to hold versus, say, in normal seasons? Like, for instance, I had read somewhere that the Lakers only had, I think, 9 practices through the first 2 months of the season.
Well, I can tell you going forward that I think we have 11 more the rest of the year. We have 11 more. And like when we go to Portland next week, because that's in the window where we have to do late afternoon practices, we can't practice here before we go. So because the tests won't come back. So we have to test, fly, practice in Portland, and then we're not even allowed to go to the arena the next day on Tuesday for a walkthrough. We have to do it in the hotel, masked and socially distanced and the whole thing. I mean, it couldn't be more different. Like, you're just not, I don't know, it feels like I'm coaching the All-Star game or an AAU game or something. Like, that level of practice and preparation, not what I'm used to in terms of NBA level of preparation. And we're playing a lot of, young guys. I mean, our over half of our minutes have already been played by guys 23 or younger, and so trying to, you want to have time to teach and to get better, and it's just not there. The good part, I guess, the challenge is you have to find other ways to be effective. So it challenges you as a coach, and it makes you get better in some ways, but doesn't mean it's not frustrating at the same time.